Hi, in this video, I'm going to continue the concept of pass by reference and pass by value that I did in the last video. If you haven't watched that video, take some time to watch that video. Other than that, you can still continue with this video so long as you are able to understand exactly what is happening. Now, in JavaScript, when we declare a variable, like for instance, if we have the primitive data type and the reference data type that I explained in the last video. Now, for instance, if we have a variable persons that actually has a name and then the city property, you can think of it like this way. JavaScript is going to create in memory the value of that's in the variable, the memory space for persons, and then equally going to create a space for the values, which means that we can actually reference the values directly to a different variable. Or alternatively, we can actually reference the values, which is the variable, to these other names. For instance, if we say test name is equals to persons.name, which means we are referencing names. Even if we delete name from persons, this value, so long as it was actually referencing this name before it was deleted, you can see this value of test name is still going to reference this other name that it actually had before it was deleted. Now, let's take for instance, we say console.log test name, and then if we delete persons dot name. Now, the value of names is going to be deleted, but this value of test name is still going to hold the variable of persons.name, which is this. Another thing again I want to point out is in JavaScript, when we use the new keyword, we are actually pointing to the object data type. What does that mean? It means, for instance, that if we have a string that is a primitive data type, and then we have a string which is actually referenced with a new string hello world. This is actually an object. And then, like you know, an object are actually passed by a reference. Let me do a demo of how this actually works and then show you. I'll be using the console just to be able to quickly point most of these things to you. You can use your text editor if you want. And most of the examples I'm going to share here, you can actually put in your name if you want as well, but I'm going to use most of the demos that I've actually used here so you can quickly reference them and all that. So don't forget I shared with you in the previous video and I said that JavaScript uh, is actually passed by reference and then passed by value. And then the reference data type are actually passed by reference, and then the object data type are passed by reference. If you actually use the new keyword, you are actually referring to the object data type. Now, let's take for instance, I declared persons, and then I'll say it's equal to, I already did that, so I'm just going to bring it up. And then I say yes, persons is equals to name, is equals to carries, city, which is Sydney. You can use your city if you want. I'm equally going to try and I say var test name is equal to persons dot name. Okay, let's try test name. You can see it's actually points to the name variable. Now, if we say delete, we want to delete the value of persons dot name. Yes, it says true. The value of persons dot name is actually deleted. Let's have a look. Now that shows you that the name is actually being deleted from the memory location. But if we actually try to say test name, sorry, test name, that means that test name is still holding the value of name even after it has been deleted. Now, let me try the second one that I said to us. I said, for instance, if we say const str is equal to hello world, I already tried some of these stuff, so they're just going to be there with us. I'll say do that. Sorry, it is actually being declared. Okay, str hello world. Now this is actually a primitive data type. But if we say, for instance, str name, I already did that. I'm not going to do it again, so we don't have an error. This is actually a string. What does it mean? You can see it as a key and value pair, which is an array of what? The string. What does it mean? It means, for instance, that we can say str name. Sorry, let me try to clean it up and bring it to the top so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Dot length, it gives you that. The primitive data type equally gives you that. But let's say, for instance, that we say replace. The replace keyword is going to use, let's say, 0, I mean, the first value. Now, str name, remember I said that is going to be, so we can actually say str name. We can actually access individual values of these. So it gives you, you can actually access each of these individual values, which is an array of string, but you can't do that with, for instance, you can't do this.